Okay, so an angle is the set of points consisting of two different rays. So here's one ray. What's the name of this ray? If I were to write it in symbols, how would I use the symbols? AC. Excellent. And then this ray right here would be AB. How can I tell by looking at just the symbols of how I wrote them that they have the same endpoint? They both start with A. That is the endpoint. Okay, this endpoint is called the, it says right here in the picture, vertex. You can name the angle in several different ways. You can use its vertex sometimes, and I'll show you examples where you can't. So for this angle right here, we could call it angle A. Notice that, I'll draw it a little bit bigger. Angle A, it is not a less than symbol. It has a flat bottom and then an angle up. Angle A, that's one way we could name this angle. Another way that you could name it would be starting at a point on the ray, going through the end point, going through another point on the other ray. So this could be angle CAB, CAB, or angle BAC. You guys notice when I name it and I'm using my pen, I start at C, I go through A, and then I go through B, like I go in the order that I wrote the letters. That way the middle letter is that vertex. This is the only time you're going to see that is, I'm about to lie to you. This is not the only time. This is the only time so far we have seen 3 letters to name anything. We never use 3 letters for rays. That is not true. We use it for planes. Never mind. Just don't use it for lines. Okay, and then you can also use a number to name it. So I don't know if you can tell this is a number 1 right here. They might have a number. So another way of naming this is calling it angle 1, whatever that number is. And then there's 2 shadings where it has the interior of the angle. So if we're talking vocabulary, anything on the inside would be the interior. Around the outside of the angle would be the exterior. Later, add these to the vocab packet. Vocab packet needs to be done when our chapter is done, which this is the last section of chapter 1. What? How exciting. Moving on. All right, example 1, write as many names as possible for the angle. So the first one is the easy one that everybody remembers how to do, angle Q. There's 2 other ways of naming angle Q. So if you guys watch my pen for a second, I want you to understand how you can name this angle Q. If you watch my pen, I'm going to put my point on the point of my pen on P, and I'm going to trace the angle QR. Angle PQR. If you can trace it, then that's how you can name it. Or I could put my point on R, and I could go RQP. Angle RQP. All right, question B. Matthew, can you name question B one way?
Angle Y.
Angle Y, excellent. Cameron, can you name it a different way?
Angle Y.
Excellent, X, Y, Z. Jay, can you name it a different way?
Angle
ZYX, good. And there is one more way. Lynn? Angle 1. You see where that 1 is? You can also name it angle 1. Rakaya, can you name angle C? Or question C? Angle 2. Very good. Aaron, can you give me another way? Angle E. All right, you guys took the easy ones. David, can you name it another way?
Angle
FED. And Denise, can you name it the last way? DEF. Great job. All right, in this picture, a lighthouse keeper measures the angles formed by a lighthouse at point M and 3 boats. Name 3 angles shown in the diagram. Okay, so before we name anything, this is where I have to give you a warning. If I were going to name an angle, do it in a different color. Angle M. I'm going to tell you right now, you're not allowed to use that in this picture. Can anybody tell me why? Or I don't know. Maybe you can't. I don't know. Does anybody know why I can't use angle M? Lynn?
Because that something other.
Yeah. Which angle am I talking about? It's not enough information. There's like 1, 2, 3 different angles at angle M. So if you use angle M, you will miss it. So that's why we have that other way of naming angles, because if there's multiple angles with the same endpoint, you're going to have to use 3 letters. So with that in mind, who can name me an angle? Alexa, can you name me an angle? KML. Good. And then that's going to be the same thing as angle LMK, so I'm not going to have anybody give me the same one, just different order of letters. Emily, can you name a different one? JMK, okay. JMK. Or the same thing as KMJ. And Stephen, can you name a third one in this picture? KMJ, is that what you said? That was the one that I just wrote down, hon. So this might help. I'm still going to call on Stephen, but the first one that was named, I'm going to mark that angle with an arc. Okay, and then the second that was named, I'm going to mark that angle with a different arc. So I'm going to use maybe 2 arcs. You see how I'm showing you how these are different angles? JML, yeah. Or you could say angle LMJ. Did you guys see how I marked these with different arcs? So the last one that Steven said, maybe I'll mark with a third different arc. There you go. So that was the third one that he said. So there's markings that we're going to use for arcs. Have you guys ever used a protractor in a lower level class, previous course? Okay, because we're not pulling up protractors and learning how to use them. There'll be just a picture, like you've already pulled the protractor out, and you can look and you could say, what angle is this? Now, before you answer, there's this tiny little element of common sense that we have to use, okay? Depending on which way the angle is, there's 2 numbers that this is sitting at. This could be at 140 degrees, or it could be at 40 degrees. You look at the angle. What are you going to tell me about that angle? Why does it have to be a particular answer? Why? Avni? It's obtuse. It's bigger than what? It's bigger than 90, so what answer does it have to be? Has to be 140. So if you're not sure, well, which number do I use? Well, is it bigger than 90 or less than 90? Okay. If you're using 90, they're both 90, so we're good there. All right. And then there's different types of angles, which I know you've learned before, because Avneet just said obtuse angle to describe it. So acute angle, those are the ones that are less than 90, but greater than 0 degrees. Right angles measure 90 degrees. Obtuse would be somewhere between 90 but less than 180. And if it measures exactly 180 degrees, we call it a straight angle. So example 2, find the measure of each angle and classify each angle. So we're going to look for JHK. So you're going to look for the J. I can't read. GHK. Here's my G, and I go to H, and then I go up to K. So my orange angle with 1 arc, that's what we're looking at right now. So look at the very end of it. Is that going to be 125 or 55? Jesse, what do you think?
Probably 125.
Why?
Because it is more than 90 degrees.
Mm-hmm. So then what kind of angle is it?
So we obtuse.
Obtuse. All right, JHL, I'll do it in a different color. JHL. JHL. John, JHL.
90 degrees.
And do you guys know the little symbol we put if it's 90 degrees? Yeah, a little square thing. I'll only use that if I already know it's 90 degrees. I can't put that square in there until I know it's 90 degrees. So 90 degrees, John, what kind of angle is that? Right angle. That is right. Correct, I mean. Okay, and then the last one is LHK. LHK. Oh no. It's this angle here. So that one ends at 125 or 55. Is that one of the answers? What's wrong with this angle? How is this one not 125 or 55? How is this one different than the ones that we've had? Avneet? It didn't start at 0. So what would be a good way of finding the measurement of this angle? Well, we could count, but that takes me too long. I just want to use math to do it. Subtract. You're right. Subtract. Does anybody know? Subtract. Ryan, do you know what I need to subtract?
The 145. You subtract 90 from it.
Okay, if I take 125, okay, you're on the right track. I like the 125, but if I subtract 90 from it, why are we subtracting 90? That's going to give me something over here if I subtract 90 degrees. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I'm not thinking the right way. So you're saying take this whole 125 here and subtract off this part, right? Yeah, that looks good. That'll give us this. So what do we get? Alex? 35 degrees. Good. And Ryan, what kind of angle is that? Oh, it is so cute, isn't it? So cute. No. All right, next is two angles are congruent angles when they have the same measure. So we have this kind of thing with line segments. We also have it with angles. If I give you two angles and they're both 35 degrees, I'll give you angle A and angle B. We could say, to say that their measurements are congruent, looks like this. Little m, angle A. I'm sorry, this isn't congruent. This is equal. To say they're equal, if they use like a little m to say the measurement of angle A and a little m for the measurement of angle B, you can say that they're equal. And if they're equal, then you can say the angle itself is congruent to angle B. So the measurement of angle A equals the measurement of angle B, therefore angle A is congruent to angle B. We had the same thing with line segments, just different figures. And then if they are congruent, we can go over and mark them with the exact same marking. It's kind of hard to see. I didn't make that very big. Can I make it bigger? So I drew a arc with a little dash in it. That's one way we can mark them. Sorry, I didn't think about this thing like bleeding through when I wrote on the other side. Here's another example. If you look right over here, can you see that these two angles are the same because they are marked with the same congruent marks? Angle addition postulate is exactly the same as segment addition postulate, only we're talking about angles. If I know the measurement of angle RSP and I know the measurement of angle PST, I can add them together and it equals the measurement of angle RST. Exact same thing as segment addition postulate, only with angles. So given that measurement of LKN equals 145, find the measurement of LKM and measurement of MKN. So let's look at this picture. LKN. LKN is the first angle we're talking about. LKN. I'm highlighting it in orange. LKM. LKN is what measurement? And it's a hard one. It says in the directions. 145 degrees. So if we were to add together LKM, measurement, plus MKN, that would equal the measurement of angle LKN. Can you guys tell me why I'm allowed to do that? Why I'm allowed to add these together and have it equal the big angle? Oh, I need to call somebody. But not called on. Or Kai, have I called on you yet? Raylan? Do you know why? Do you know why I'm allowed to do this? I'm allowed to just make a statement like that? Austin, do you know why I'm allowed to do this? Why I'm allowed to add these two together and it equals that one? Okay, we need to go back a page. I just called on two people that denied me an answer. Raylan, there is a postulate that we just went over. Can you tell me the name of that postulate? The angle addition postulate allows me to add the two smaller angles together and get the big angle. So that is the reason I'm allowed to do this. It's the angle addition postulate. So LKM says 2x plus 10. And 4x minus 3 is the other one. And that equals 145. Why am I allowed to put in 2x plus 10 and 4x minus 3? Lynn. That's substitution. Figured we would review that since that kind of stuff will be on your quiz. Only with lines, not angles. Okay. Now we just have to solve an equation. So what do I do to solve this equation here, Matthew? What's my first step to solve the equation?
You add it together. The things that are the same, I guess.
Yeah. Like terms?
Yeah.
Yeah? Can you tell me what I add together?
So you add 10 and -3, so that'll be 7. And then you add 4x and 2x, and that'll be 6x.
Okay. And that's just simplifying. Jerry, what should I do? Okay, so we need to get x by itself.
Oh, subtract.
Subtract what? 7,
7.
yes. So 6x equals 138. Is that 138? Yeah, it was 138. Who remembers what that's called? What I just did. Emily, you remember? No, we're not substituting. What are we doing right here, hon?
Well, I'm
Subtraction.
subtraction.
Property of equality. Yep. I thought that's what you meant. Subtraction, property of equality. David, what should I do? Okay, divide by 6. I don't know what that is. I could do it by hand, I guess. It's going to go 2, okay, 23. And David, what did I just do there? What property did I just use here? Yeah. And I get 23. Am I done? I'm all done. I found x. I'm not done? But I found x. John?
You need to first substitute 23 into LKM and MK.
Because it doesn't just say find x, right? We have to read our directions. Some people stop there because they think it's always find x. But no, this says find the angles. So yeah, we're going to use substitution. I'm going to stop writing the purple part for a while. We're going to use substitution. We're going to do 2 times 23 plus 10. We're also going to do 4 times 23 minus 3. Is that 46, 56? And this one is 89. Anybody? Is it 92 minus 3? Anybody using a calculator or just me? Just me calculating? You guys are trusting me? It's not a good idea always. All right, when we write our answer, we're going to write the measurement of angle LKM equals 56 degrees, and the measurement of angle MKN equals 89 degrees. Is there any way of checking my answer, just in case I'm not sure if I did it right? Lynn, what do you think? They should equal 145, just in case I'm like, I don't know if I did that right. Does it equal 145? Oh, it does. Yay, I did it right. Okay. So then those would be my final answers. All right. Given that angle KLM is a straight angle. Ooh, see that word given? Remember we have given in our steps and reasons? Yeah. Find the measurement of angle KLN and NLM. So we have to find these two angles. And we're given that angle KLM is a straight angle. So if I were doing steps and reasons, which I'm not going to do for every single step for this, I'm just going to ease you through like the first couple steps. Angle KLM is a straight angle. Here's a symbol that means angle. I just made it really messy and I didn't even tell you what it means. If you do angle and then you put like a little arc in it, you can do that instead of writing the word angle. Yeah. Save you a couple letters. Alex! Good morning. Okay. What does telling me it's... Oh, why am I doing it this way? Hold on, guys. Is a... I really should be doing this in pencil. That's given. Okay, so if angle KLM is a straight angle, that's given. What does that tell me? What information are they trying to tell me without telling me? Cameron? Yes, the measurement. So that would kind of be like my second step. The measurement of angle KLM equals 180 degrees. That was not given to us. We figured that out. But how did we figure that out? You could say it in your own words. I'll tell you what goes here. Lynn? Yeah, it's a definition of what a straight angle is. Definition of straight angle. Okay, I'm not going to finish. There'd be more steps and reasons. I'm not going to finish that because we've done a bunch of these. We're just going to solve it real fast. Okay. I should really use a pencil. I make a lot of mistakes. Just didn't know where my pencil was yet today. No, it doesn't have any lead. Hey? Oh no, I just it's somewhere. Oh, do I need a pencil? I have like 30,000 pencils. I'm not even. I'm exaggerating a little bit. What? It doesn't have. I don't think it. I think it has green lead in it, or it doesn't have any lead in it. How about I just get lead that I have? These are my favorite pencils, so I got to put it on the camera while I talk. These are my favorite pencils because they erase so nicely, and Kroger had them like way on sale one year, so I like bought every one they had because I love these things. Yeah. Teacher life. Okay. Oh, we got to finish this one. All right, so what are we going to do to set up an equation so we can solve for x? What should we do? Aaron, do you know what to do? I see you writing.
Solve for a.
Yeah, well, I got to solve for x eventually so I can know what these angles are. What should we do with this stuff?
10x minus 5 plus 4x plus 4.
10x minus 5 plus 4x plus 3 equals 180. And Raylan, do you know what allowed me to add these two angles together and say it equals the big angle? Angle addition postulate, that's right. And then also substitution because I put what they equal in. I'm just skipping some steps here. From here, we're going to simplify. We're going to add together like terms. So 14x minus 2 equals 180. So that's simplified. We're going to add 2 to both sides. 14x equals 182. That is addition property of equality. Divide by 14. And somebody already did this, right? 13. Trust in you. Okay. So we got 13. And are we done? Now, what do we need to do now? We got to plug it in. We got to substitute it. So we're going to do 10 times 13 minus 5 and 4 times 13 plus 3, 130, 125, and 52, 55. So measure of angle KLN equals 125 degrees. Measure of angle NLM equals 55 degrees. Why I am emphasizing the word degrees is because you need to put the degree symbol in. There are different units of measuring angles. There's degrees and there's something else that you haven't learned about yet, so you need to tell me it's degrees. Okay, last one. Why don't you guys go ahead and start this one. You can go ahead and find the answer, but I am going to ask you about what is given and what you can deduct from that information. I'm going to ask you that, so think about that too, kind of what we did for example 5, but you can go ahead and solve it. So do you know the answer to, you don't say it out loud yet, but do you know the answer to why that is true? Yeah. See, never taught that before, but you already know. You guys have been doing your work, you're catching on the things, that's good. So I did the whole thing already, it's up on the board, you can check as you go, but the one thing I didn't answer is like my second reason. So I'm kind of walking around to see if anybody can answer that second reason, but not tell everybody in the class, because I want you guys to think for yourselves. You could answer that second reason. You have to use a reason. If I ask for the full thing, yes, but I was just going over the two that we've never done before. So we've never done one, like number 2 right there. We've just never done it before. All the stuff after number 2, all of the addition, postulate, substitution, addition, cost, or addition, we've already done this before, so I'm not please don't go through all those reasons right now because they just take a very long time to do. Yeah. The next thing they do. Not this part. I mean, did you figure out? Okay, again, you guys, I'm looking for. So I didn't write the whole steps and reasons. I didn't write the whole proof. I'm just looking for, because I've never told you the answer for the reason for number 2. We've never done that one ever. So I'm seeing who could come up with that reason, even though we've never ever done it before. Okay? And on top of that, I have the rest of the work and answers up there, except I don't have the full proof chart. I don't have that whole proof because it takes a while to do. So I'm just looking to see if you can come up with that answer yourself. So do not yell the answer out. The question is, if you know that an angle is a right angle, you know that it's 90 degrees. Why is that true? How do you know that that is 90 degrees? Don't yell it out. Steven, did you figure it out? You did?
No, I
Did not. Steven, did you know that if it's a right angle, it's 90 degrees? How do you know that, in your own words? If I took away the picture and I just read the words, this is a right angle, is given. But how do you know it's 90 degrees if I tell you it's a right angle? Like in your own words. You're making it too hard on yourself, hon. Did you know that if I said something that is a right angle is 90 degrees, did you know that? Because you went. Because why? I can't hear you, hon. I'm sorry. Oh, so you learned that today? So it's not like I decided right angle means 90 degrees. Somebody else decided that. So you guys, I don't know when you learned that. Gosh, when did you learn that? Do you even know? Elementary school, maybe? Yeah. So you learned that because there was a definition given to you saying, if it is 90 degrees, we call it a right angle. That's a definition. That's all you got to say is write the definition of a right angle. So some of these aren't postulates, they aren't theorems, they're just like, well, that's a definition I learned a long time ago. Okay? All right, your assignment is the worksheet. Fingers crossed. The answers post. If they don't, send me an email. Not Canvas.